Okay, so now we're going to call this one side 1. So that's that one. Side 2. And side 3. And then this is alpha. Okay, so then we're going to go take this processing. We're going to put it right in here. Function. Oh, you know what I forgot to do on the other one? File. Go back. I forgot to put the word function in front of it. And to call the function. So let me go to that really quick. This is a different... well, let's open it up in Visual Studio Code. Just drag it. It should let me. Okay, we'll go back to the other one in a second. Okay, so this right here would have been just fine. It would have ran it right the moment that the document loaded. We don't want it to do that, so we want to have it be a function. Keyword to create a function is function. Give it a name. Functions cannot have hyphens, underscores, or spaces in them. So we're going to call this get net pay. Or we could have said after tax. Okay. And you have an opening curly brace, opening brace, and then a closing brace around your code. And then what we need to do is that button calculate's not going to do anything unless we put in an on click, and then we're going to call the function. So this is another thing you can screw up, is that you name your function something else, and then you call or misspell. Okay. Voila! So, sorry to go through that one really fast, but all we did is we made this an actual function by writing function, giving it a name. This right here, you might be wondering why it's there, is because if you start passing in values, which are called parameters, then that will not be empty. But for now, since we're not passing anything in, we're doing all the logic inside, then we just have the curly braces to tell this is the definition of my function. This is what my function does inside. And then on our button we just call on click, and then we call the method and the function that we made. We're not passing in any parameters. It doesn't accept any parameters, so it will run. So we'll save that, and then we'll go back to Untitled. You guys see that? To get up to your other files that you're working on, you go click here, and it will actually tell you if you have anything unsaved. Okay. Alright, so let's go back to this. So function, we're going to call it get triangle. Get triangle area, and then we are going to paste in this processing. So that we know what to do. Okay, so the square side 1 value. Actually, we need to get the inputs. So we're going to get 4 variables, and this is going to be side 1's value. We called it side 1. And we're going to do this 4 more times for each side and for the alpha. So we're going to call this side 2, side 3, and alpha. Then we need to make sure that these match up to the boxes so we don't grab the wrong value. Okay, so now we've got all the information. Okay, one other thing I missed is that we need, these are strings that come back, and they've got to have it in a parse. When he says real numbers, he means that it's a parse float. When it says whole numbers, then it needs to be a parse int. And since I'm going to be grading these, we're just going to say that these are all evens. So all whole numbers. So we're going to call the function parse int, and then we're going to pass it in. So this is a parameter. We're going to pass it in this value that regular hours came back as. So we're just going to do that for each of these other ones. We're going to call that function around it. Close these. Make sure you have matching parentheses, and the editor will actually see this little, it's kind of light, but you see how it shows that it's matching up? It has a little box around it, and you can do that for brackets and for parentheses and for curly braces. So you'll do it on the curly braces too. See how it highlighted that they have a match. Okay. We're not nesting functions, we're calling another function, and then, well, I guess you could say that we're nesting. So we're calling another function and passing it in whatever this function got back. So we are nesting a call of a function inside of another function. If you wanted to, you can move this out into a separate variable and then pass that variable into here so that you can do a little better debugging. But for right now, just remember that when you're trying to get a number that you have to parse them first, because whatever you get back from here is going to be a string. And you could actually, like here, if you really wanted to, this helps you. We'll call it regular hours input or string or something like that, and then you do that, and then you would say regular hours, and you pass that into here. And then when you run through and debug it or whatever, then you can know exactly what's inside of this, and you can do that for each one of these. So that's an optional thing. Okay, so that's fully what we need to do in that wage calculator, pay calculator. Okay, so let's go back to this one. Let's save this as HTML so that it will do some coloring for us. Okay. Plus, you see these squiggly lines? It's telling you that something's wrong with your JavaScript. See this little light green squiggly line? It's telling you that you've never used this variable. So that's why I had you do Visual Studio, because it's smart. The other ones that were suggested that I used in my previous semester, not so smart. Okay, so we got all the different, we actually need to, and we're going to say that these are just, let's do parse float, just so that you know the other option. But you want to use parse float if you want to get a decimal back. So if somebody typed in 10.99 for 10.99, for a 10.99 for for a price or something like that, you use parse float. Otherwise, parse int will kill off the rest of the 99 and it will only be 10. And it doesn't even do any rounding. up. One more time. Oops. Whatever. Okay. What are you yelling about? Oh, see? It's yelling at me because I missed the parentheses. It doesn't have matching parentheses. Okay, so now we got all the inputs. Now we're going to process. We're going to square side one value. So, var side 1, call it S cubed squared, equals side 1 times side 1. Or the optional way is to use the math functions, which is math.pow, and we are passing in, do you see this IntelliSense? It tells you what to pass in. So we pass in side 1, and then you pass in what power you're going to take it to. And since we can actually do these two squares in one line because they're not too bad, so we're going to do this one, which is side 1, and then we're supposed to add those values. So we'll add math.pow side 2 to, we're going to square it, and then we're supposed to subtract 2. So there's our 1. Let's get rid of this, and we took care of all those by doing one thing. So we could call it temp or something like that. Okay, so then it says multiply the previous value by side 1, 2. Okay, so temp 2 equals okay, so temp 2 equals, and actually, if you really wanted to, you could overwrite what temp has, and you wouldn't have to declare it either. You can say temp equals and then temp. See, the only reason why I'm doing this is because I've declared it already. And JavaScript's smart, it'll do whatever's on this side first before it assigns the variable. So temp times side 1 times side 2 times, okay, so now we need the cosine, which is in math, and I believe just cos. And yeah, a numeric expression that contains an angle measured in radians. Okay, so then we're going to pass in alpha. And then we need to have a div to output it, because we're about ready to output what we got. And call this output, and we're going to say that, let's get that up, that element, and we're going to set what's inside of it. It's inner HTML equal to temp. And that should give us the area of a triangle. Also, like I said though, our button's not going to do anything, so we're going to click it. We're going to, and when you use IntelliSense, you can use the up and down arrows on your keyboard to scroll down and select a different autofill. Okay, so unclick, we're going to call get a triangle area. Make sure I spell that right. Okay, so now let's save this one. Now here is the drum roll, and hoping that they work. What are you? Oh, I forgot to end my red button tag. And we need to put some labels in front of there. So side 1, side 2, side 3, and then side, and then angle. And I'm wondering why he's giving you side 3. See, that's the thing though. He's like having you get it, right? Because if I look at the thing here. Oh, no. He just had you get the 2. So like So, it's just like I was saying earlier, is because it's just saying this side should equal what this is. So, yeah, we just got the 2. And then, so we don't even need to have a side 3 unless you're going to test it. So we can get rid of side 3. And then we are going to divide by 2? Hold on. No, because it doesn't have a divide symbol. It has a minus. Okay, so then let's see anything else I'm missing. Okay, so that's that one. And now we can actually see what we want. And you can do this, or if you want to make it pretty, you use a break tag. That's a tag that makes it so it's a new line. So then you have all your boxes one after another. Okay, so then side 1, let's just say it's 3, side 2 is 6, and we have a 90-degree angle. Not a number. This is not good. Okay, let me debug through it. I think that's only for right triangles is how you can get the hypotenuse, because this is actually, this is in radians. Alright, so let's put a breakpoint in here, see why it's doing this. Just a little, so I can see what the values of. It says that it is not a number. Side 1. Text box. We entered 3. Say it's ending for 2. Yep. Let me try something. No, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to say dot value. Of course it's not a number, because it's getting the reference to the text box. Alright. There you go. That looks curious. Why would it be a negative number? Side 1 plus side 2 squared. So those are both squared, and then we added them together. minus 2. Maybe because I have a really funky triangle. Let's try bigger numbers. Nope. See, 3 squared is 9. 9 squared is 81. So 9 plus 81 makes 90 minus 2. Let's see what temp gives me. So temp gives me 88. So 88 times that plus the math cosine. Well, what I'll do is I'll look it up. I'll find a different calculator online if somebody has done this, and then I'll send something to you guys. And then let's go test the other one really quick. I'm running out of time. Dot value. Oops. Okay. Same thing here. We probably want to put. Okay, that should work. 'Cause it says the right thing. Get after tax pay, we called it. Oh, did I put? It's okay because this one has the let's go look really quick. Okay, so it's calling the thingy. Regular hours is 40. 4 times 10. Hourly wage is 32. Got our regular wages, our total wages, our taxes. After taxes. Oh, I might enter another, I think. Might have used the wrong. Oh, yep. See how case is important. Okay, there we go. That's that one, and then let's find this really quick while you guys are here. So, area of triangle using cosine. Okay, so I found this. I hope it doesn't give you something as evil as this. Okay, so he's got the degree here and the lengths of the two sides. And he's saying that QR squared, so he must have messed up, equals PR squared plus QP squared. So we know this is squared, this is squared. Minus 2 times PR, which is this length and this length, and then the cosine of the alpha, which is 70. That's exactly what we did. Alright, guys? Did you guys lose sound? Or was I too far away? So we had one side squared, another side squared, minus 2. And then we said that value is times by side 1, side 2, and the math cosine of alpha. And then it gives back a negative number. No, not laughing. It's evil, I know. I hope he doesn't give you something like this. Let me go look at the test real quick. Let me move this to my other screen so you can't see it. Yeah, the formulas do use some squaring, square root, and some math.pow. How many acres? Okay. And the other one's just multiplication. Yeah, I don't think so. I kind of agree. I agree with you. Is it different last semester? I can't remember. Let's see. Okay, so I found a calculator online that does it, and it's saying to take the square root of the whole thing. If you have this formula, I don't see no square root. I think that's what he actually didn't mean, is that to solve it, you've got to solve it, you're going to have to, you would square root this side to get side 3. No, I don't think it's an issue because this is what, copy this. Because the multiplication will happen and the squaring will happen first and then the addition. It doesn't give you a negative number until it takes that cosine. For some reason. Yeah, I think it is too. Let's go back really quick. Then it says that you're supposed to take the square root. Should we see? Make sure I put it in the same color. Nope, gives me not a number. Yeah, let's do what I think it was Matt was saying to let's calculate one side and then the other side. Subtract 2. Let's try that. Yep, that's what it was. You were right, Matt. The order of operation was that this had to happen last. All this needed to happen first. Before the subtraction happened. Oh. Well, looking at the test, it is not as hard as this. I can promise you that. It's a simple division problem where one part of it, you have a little calculation on the top and a little calculation on the bottom, and it's just square roots and squaring. So it's not anything like this. And the order of operations one won't be as hard as this. Alright, so I've got a boogie. You're welcome. I just know that, like you said, it's not a lot of time. You just barely learned how to write a program, and so it's only fair to give you some extra credit. Because the extra credit will prepare is something that helps you, so learn better. Alright, well I gotta go, bye.